Hello and welcome to another spring themed craft with Manuscript Pen Company and myself, Lindsay from Wild Sea Calligraphy. Today we're going to make another greetings card. This is an Easter egg. You can use whatever shape you want, a rabbit, a leaf, a flower, a heart, and you can just apply the same technique here to anything you want to do and put it onto a greeting card. This is just a white Cerio paper greeting card. It handles the ink really well, so when you are going to apply ink to any kind of paper, you want to make sure that the ink doesn't feather out or bleed out onto the paper. This one, you can see it handles the ink really well. So we're basically going to do repetition of these shapes over and over again inside a egg-shaped sort of outline. We're going to add some florals and some leaves and just some filler. I'm going to be using a EF nib from Manuscript Pen Company, a straight pen holder. I'm also using Frosted Berry and Dazzling Lagoon and a black ink, and to top it off I'm going to be using the Manuscript aqua brush to do some little flowers that I dot around here. So there's some little flowers that I've dotted around, and also to add some colour into the flowers. Now before you get started, it's really important to prep the nib for this one to make sure it's going to handle the ink really well and hold the ink. So I've just given it a wipe down with a napkin and slightly sort of soapy water and dried it off so that the oil that coats the nib is removed. We have our greeting card laid out and we're just going to roughly draw our shape. So again, it could be whatever shape you want, thinking about the spacing you've got. So I kind of want it to go from here to here. I'm just going to draw an egg shape very loosely. Don't need to do it all in one big line. Just get that shape coming out. It doesn't have to be perfect because the cartouches we're going to create will fill that up. So let's get a slight egg shape. This will be erased at the end. So we've got a slight egg shape, and you can put this as a reference here. So I'll pop this here now, so you can take a screenshot and use as a reference. I'll pause for a minute. Draw the shapes in to begin with to help you out, so you can position everything. Okay, so we're going to start from the top, and it's this shape. A repetition of that shape, maybe this. Okay. However, if you feel confident, you can go straight in with your nib and ink. Now, you get quite a fine line with the EF Principle nib, so you can apply more pressure if you want thicker strokes, or you can have quite delicate looking strokes as well. So I'm going to start from the top, pressure, release, and pull it around. Obviously, if you're pushing down harder, this is going to create a thicker stroke, which will take longer to dry. And then we're just going in behind it, just creating sort of the edge, the outer edge of the egg shape. Going all the way around. You can work on having some quite thick and some quite thin if you want to. Create a little bit of a difference for the eye. Go around to here. And then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to start from the top. Do it this way. Now it's not going to be completely mirroring each other. You're going to try to make it a little bit messy as we go down as well. So stop, top. Don't worry if you mess it up, because it can all be saved. Go down here, maybe a little swirly bit there, and I'm going to stop because I'm going to try to carry on up here without getting my hand in the ink. So if I went all the way down there, I wouldn't have enough room to get my hand in without getting ink everywhere. So go this way, pressure, release, different sizes, different directions. You want it to look like it's dancing. crazy dance on the page. I have different sizes, I mentioned before. It makes it look slightly more natural, and you can see it coming together now. You can make it quite compact if you want, but we're going to be filling the gaps. Come to the side. Be really mindful. What you can do is let sections dry, otherwise you end up with your hand in it and that gets really annoying. See, sometimes I started thin, thick, thin. Sometimes started with a bit more pressure. Have fun with this. Take your time, enjoy having a moment of peace. Okay, so we're going to leave it like this, and then we know we've got a little section here that I want some florals. I've done a tutorial previously, just before Christmas, to show you how to do these. There we go. So we're going to start a bit further up here, little circle, and then our petal shape, which is up, over. You can mess around with the pressure if you want to, and down, out. I'm just doing 4 petals. And another one down here. You can do as many as you want, lots of different sizes. Now we're just placing different size leaves around. I'm just going to come back over here and play with this little leaf a bit, petal even. Don't mess around too much with that. Again, you don't need too many leaves because we're going to be using different ink colours as well. Or you can use the same ink colour. You could use a darker card and use a white ink, or use a darker card and use one of the metallic inks. Different pressure on the leaves. So there we go. And now we're going to do a little one coming out here. Okay. And then this is where the EF principle works really well, because you get these lovely shapes. The pressure and release. So no pressure, pull, pressure, pull and release. So it creates that, so you're kind of flicking away. There. It's a beautiful, beautiful shape. And we can probably pop another one in here, pull it out of the leaves. Oh, if it does that, don't worry, we can just colour that in, fill that back in again. Nobody's going to know, apart from you. And you're not going to tell anybody. There we go. Maybe another little one down here. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to leave this little section now. We're going to start working back around here. So reload your nib. And what I've done here is we're going to do the same on some of these. And then we're also going to do a pressure and release line. So you can see here we've got some of these strokes. And then we've also got some of those going down the edge. So repeat. Now, if I wasn't teaching a video, I would 100% leave this to dry because the ability to create a bit of error here is quite high. But I'm doing a video and I'm impatient, so I want to show you all. So we're going to do some dots. Those, and then maybe a little pressurized line. Again, leaving gaps because we're going to use the metallic inks, the coloured inks, to add little embellishments in between. Pressure, release, maybe another one, a little dot at the end, pressure, release. See how it starts to come together. Maybe here we'll do pressure. And I call these like filler. These are filler strokes. You can maybe come around and just add little sections. Just be really mindful of where your fingers are touching. I'll zoom in and show you how it looks. Zoom back out for you. I'm not being precious with it because I know it's going to look good. I'm not worried. Take that pressure off you. And be very careful with my hand here, so I'm just going to try to adjust myself a little bit. Okay, so we've got this. We've got lots of nice big gaps here that we can fill. What else can we do? Okay, now let's look at maybe here we can do some swirly whirlies. So in we go, pressure, release, swirly. Maybe we can bring this around this way. Let's have a look. This is a good one up here. Okay, and then we'll try to, rather than just having one, we'll try to repeat that somewhere else. maybe here. Maybe here as well. Okay, so again, start filling the gaps in now. You can add little dots in between, which are always lovely. Very delicate embellishments. Okay. Now, I'm just going to stop for a minute, have a little look. Maybe add some leaves here. These are quite nice little dots. Different shapes, so with them kind of messy, organic. You can see how it's filling the gaps up now. Okay. Now I'm going to pause and I'm going to clean my nib because I want to change colour. I'm going to start with the frosted berry. So make sure your nib is dry. Remove any excess ink and let's just start adding some other little bits now. So we can add another leaf here. Start pulling things out from here. Do some little dots in between sections. Do a line, so a very thin hairline, following the shape around. Again, don't just do it once, repeat that in different places. Some more dots going around here, maybe some of those. Pressure, pressure. Add some own circles around here. I always like to add a little heart somewhere, like a little calling card as a little dinky heart hidden. Swirly whirlies. Add some more leaves. Play around with the pressure. You can start seeing all those gaps are getting full now. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, seeing some nice little gaps here. You don't have to go crazy either. You don't have to go researching loads of different types of things to add. You can just repeat the same thing over and over again. It's quite fun. It's almost like a mandala. You want to get this colour, everywhere really. Maybe pop another little heart somewhere. Okay, so we're going to pause with the ink. And now we're going to start changing the colour. We're going to add another colour. You can add as many colours to this as you want, which I'm very tempted to do. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple lines here. This is how our lovely card is looking. I have erased some of the lines. I'm brave and not got it everywhere. You see here I was a bit impatient. I just rubbed that out a little bit too much. Okay, so now we're going to just add some colour to our flowers if you wanted to. Just using a bit of, it's the ink that I'm using already. You can kind of mix and make it quite like a watercolour, but I'm just doing literally a couple of dots. So this is just using this brush. A couple of dots because it's got quite a lot of pigment. Okay, and then a little round paintbrush, and then just start out and pull it out a little bit. Not too much. Just to give it a bit of like a petal colour and shape. Be careful not to get it on the ink, that's the border. Pulling it out. And the same here, you can just use the ink that's already there if you wanted to. So I'm not doing too much, I'm not a watercolour artist, but I'm just adding just some extra bits to it. Right, bits I do like. I'm going to use the red and the blue actually. So I'm going to do a couple of dots of red, find some bits. So again, like the previous video that I did for Spring in Bloom, very gentle dots. And then just get the end of your brush wet and then just create like a little floral shape, pull a flower out of there. Here, tiny dots, building the pressure, and it creates this little cute flowers. You can also just create some circles as well, getting some filler. Gonna do a little red and purple one down here. Tiny dots. Zoom in for you. Just here, little dots. Some purple. Get a brush. Just pull them out to create a floral shape. A little bit too much there. Okay, not too many. Pop over here, purple. Where are we? I've lost it. Over here as well. It's really beautiful, and then you can sometimes use some of the ink that's already on the brush that's left over. Just create some of the little flowers, maybe add some little lines, like a shadow effect. All from these pens. Like these pens have got great pigment in them. I'm just going to zoom out. Oops, daisy. I'll zoom out and see what the other areas. Am I missing anything? No, I think that's it. Like obviously you could take this section out and write Happy Easter if you wanted to, or another message, a name or an initial. We're going to keep it like this. Fold it over. And there you go, lovely little spring card. Can be Easter themed, can be spring themed, can be any season themed. There we go. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give us a like or a comment, certainly a follow, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye bye.